So I'm a little bit worried about some parts of Grand Theft Auto 6. Now from what I've seen in the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, some parts actually kind of worry me, and in this video I want to explain why. You'll have to bear with me, but I'm sure it will make sense to a lot of people watching. But before we get into today's video, if you do enjoy any part of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Also, we've just hit 5,000 subscribers, which is mental because I started the channel, 2.5 months ago? And in the past month alone, we've got 3,000 subscribers. Like, I'm so confused how this has happened. Thank you all so much. Like, my goal for the middle of next year was to hit about 10,000 subscribers maximum, but getting around 3,000 subscribers in, I think it's like 28-day period is absolutely insane. Nothing else I can say other than thank you guys so much. Now let's get into the video. So if we skim through the trailer, all of this here looks great and it's amazing and this is all good, but there's some parts of this trailer that do really concern me. If we start off with this scene here, so one thing I've noticed about the trailer, there's loads of different ways that people interact with their environment. For example, this person here, whether it be Lucia or someone else, we won't get into that, but the way that they're standing on the seat, for example, how do we command that within the game? Like, how do we go from being a passenger in a vehicle to being able to stand up and grab onto things, and then how do we command our character to put their hands up in the air? Like, that seems like a lot of different individual mechanics and movements for that to happen, and the same thing can be said with the person hanging out of the car. How are Rockstar going to implement this in a way that's not necessarily easy but intuitive for us to use? And if we go forward throughout the trailer, like for example, we've got a person here leaning against the car. How do we stand next to a car and lean? Like, we only have so many buttons on a controller, and an interaction menu wouldn't really make sense. And for example, we've got a person here leaning against the wall. Let's go back a little bit. We've got a person here leaning against the wall, and how do we, is that a mechanic that us as a player can put into the game, or is that just random NPC activity that's programmed in? Now I know this seems like such a small thing to think about, but some of the stuff we saw in the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer was never in the game, like the person hammering in the sign for the for sale property, and I want to be wrong, trust me, I want to be wrong. But there's a load of things that are in this trailer that are mechanics that are beyond the gameplay. They're more like animations within a game engine. Scenes like this don't worry me too much because you could walk behind a dancer and then there could be a button to make it rain. It's like one simple command activity. And for example, scenes like this person here's on their phone taking a picture. Now that could be simple as opening your phone and going into the camera within the phone and then taking a picture of what's around you. That's quite a simple mechanic that I'm not overly worried about. And stuff like this doesn't concern me either because obviously we can command our character to dance on the dance floor. Now shots like this where someone's in the pool in the background and they've got their arms out, like, is that just NPC activity that's coded into the NPCs of the world, or is that something we can make our character do? I feel like this trailer shows more of NPC character development and the technology they're using to make NPCs behave more realistically, rather than showing us what we'd be able to do within the game. Another example is this shot here. So previously in Grand Theft Auto, when we've jumped on top of something, our feet actually don't line up with the surface. You can see here that the people's feet in the background are actually responding to the angle of the surface they're on. So you can see here that like it's slightly sloped and the person's foot and the arch of their foot matches the curve. But like, for example, this person here putting their foot up on something, is this random NPC behavior, or by us walking up to something that has a ledge do we automatically put one foot on it? And with a moving vehicle, I'm not sure if that boat within itself is actually moving or whether the person filming is moving around it, but I don't know. And the same applies to this one here. Now obviously we can drive around the city and there could be people doing this on the roof of their car, which, don't get me wrong, this is really advanced NPC behavior and I applaud Rockstar for it because it's incredible. Like, making a world believable and realistic is a task within itself. But is this a way that we can interact with the game, or are we just an observer? For example, are we able to get on the roof of a car and jump around and do things and shake that booty? Are we able to do that in the game, or is that just something that we witness driving around the town? I'm not overly bothered either way. I'm just starting to think now that like this trailer plays out more like a movie trailer rather than playing out like a game trailer. Same for the person in the back of the car here, they're hanging out the side of the car. We've seen from the leaks we had last year that we can lean out of the car when shooting, but is this what happens when we lean out the car without a weapon in our hands? Is this a mechanic that's built in? Like I said before, there's only so many menus that Rockstar can put in the game, and from what we saw from the leaks last year, we have a weapons menu, we have an items menu, and that's it. Obviously that's pre-alpha, that's not final. I don't know, I just feel like I'm worried that we're seeing all of this incredible stuff and we're going to be stuck with a game where the world is incredible around us but our characters are quite simplistic. Now I know people will comment saying that, no, it's going to be amazing, etc. And I agree, this will be the best game ever made. But how do we interact with the world in the same way the NPCs do? For example, these people on the roof of a car dancing, are we going to be able to get our characters up on the roof of the car to do a dance while someone else films us on online, for example? Is that something that's going to exist in the game? I don't know. And this here's another example of that. Like, obviously we can see an NPC, one foot on the seat, one on the handle of the door, and you know, they're ghost riding the whip, which is fine, but is this going to be something that we're actually going to be able to do and participate in the game? And this is where the whole roleplay thing comes in as well. Like, there are a lot of mechanics within the roleplay side of Grand Theft Auto, and obviously Rockstar acquired 5M, so there could be a lot of mechanics that were in that system that they're trying to now implement into GTA 6 that allow us to do more realistic, and I say realistic in quotations, but more realistic things like this. But in reality, is this something that we'll see on the in-game social media apps and either never see it actually in the game itself, or we're just a mere passenger to this happening in the world around us? Like I said before, it's not a massive sticking point, but it's just something I've been wondering a lot. Is this just the product of the world that Rockstar have created, or is this something that we can actively participate in? And this is another example of something I was thinking about. With people interacting, like this person's got their camera out, this person's interacting with them. Are we going to be able to throw poses in front of cameras? Is that something that happens in the game? How do NPCs respond around us when we do get our camera out? Is this an animated sequence, or is this going to be something that we can expect to see in the game? And this is another example of that. Like, are we going to be able to have a beer in our hand at an event like this and come and break a table? Or is this just something that happens from a cutscene? Is this something that happens with the world around us? I think you guys get what I'm getting at here. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand what I mean by this. Like, I'm not saying that this is going to be a bad game by any means, but this is something that does worry me about a trailer that looks so incredible. There's a lot of things here that I'm unsure Rockstar will be able to deliver on, and I don't mean that in a negative way towards Rockstar. I just have a lot of questions. Like, obviously it's very clear I'm a massive Rockstar fan, and this game will be incredible. I feel like half the stuff we've seen in this trailer, to implement that into the game in a way that we can do those things, it's not impossible, but it's definitely not intuitive. It's not going to be a case of we can pick up a controller and then we jump on the roof of the car and it will give us an option to dance, or maybe that is the way they'll do it. I'm just a bit confused. Now, of course, I understand that this isn't a gameplay trailer, this is a cinematic trailer. So the gameplay trailer we see will show us more about the in-game mechanics and what we'll be able to actually tell our characters to do. But I'm very keen to see what the actual difference between the gameplay trailer and the cinematic trailers are going to be like. Because this cinematic trailer shows us 1,000 things that are in the game, but no explanation of how we could possibly be involved with that. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts about this as well. Obviously, going into trailer 2, which will come out at some point this year, like, what do we expect from the game? And what do we expect from the trailer? And also, what is the line between real versus what will actually be in the game? Obviously, Rockstar took some liberties with the GTA 5 trailer, but not to a massive extent. There was just a few things that weren't quite right. I'm keen to hear what your guys' thoughts are below. Please drop your comments down below. I'm very keen to hear your theories and how you think we may be able to participate in some of these reward activities, or maybe why you think we won't be able to. Please let me know down below, and I'll be very keen to hear your ideas. And if you have some really good ideas, I'll definitely explore them further and make more videos that are similar to this. Thank you all for watching today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one.